If you've refilled a prescription in the last month, there's a real chance you paid more than you had to. Not because you did anything wrong, because almost nobody tells you the part I'm about to tell you. A few weeks ago, the White House quietly changed a government website through TrumpRx. 600 medications got added to it overnight. And standing next to the president was a billionaire who didn't even vote for him, there to say this one thing isn't about politics. And buried inside all of it is a single mistake that can quietly cost a family $2,000 a year. So here's what we're going to cover today. 1, what this website actually is in plain English. 2, the 4 extremely common drugs that just landed on it, and the odds are that you or your loved one are taking one or more of them. 3, the catch that nobody mentions, including that $2,000 mistake. And 4, the one question you can ask at the pharmacy counter that can change your bill right there on the spot. Also 5, the honest answer to the only question that matters right now. Does this policy actually save you money, or is it just a news headline? So let me tell you why I'm here and the person walking you through this. I'm Neal K. Shah. I'm a Johns Hopkins and NIH-funded caregiving researcher, and I'm the CEO of CareYaya, where our team has helped thousands of older adults across America and the families who care for them. I wrote a best-selling book about how the health insurance system runs over ordinary Americans. And I now run a platform that helps patients fight back when the insurance companies deny their care. So when an announcement like this one rolls across the news, I don't read it the way a cable anchor does. I read it the way a caregiver does, sitting there late at night at the kitchen table, looking at a pile of pill bottles and doing the math on their family's cost. And that's the whole spirit of this channel. If you take care of an aging parent or a spouse, or you're just trying to take care of yourself as you get older, subscribe, because I make these the way I'd explain them to my own family. And if this helps you, send it to one person who fills a prescription. That tiny thing is how we reach the people who need it. Okay, now back to the news. On May 18th, 2026, the Trump administration expanded a site called TrumpRx.gov. It now shows the cash price on more than 600 everyday generic medications, and it pulls the pricing from 3 names you may already know: Amazon Pharmacy, Mark Cuban's Cost Plus Drugs, and GoodRx. When the site first launched back in February, it listed only about 43 brand name drugs. So this is close to a 700% jump. It went from a niche thing to something that touches medications that millions of people actually take. Now, why should that suddenly feel personal to you? Think about it, because of the kind of drugs they put on it. The White House specifically pointed to examples like atorvastatin, that's a cholesterol drug; clopidogrel, that's a blood thinner that prevents strokes and heart attacks; lisinopril, one of the most common blood pressure medications in America; and metformin, that workhorse drug for type 2 diabetes that millions of people take. Read that list again in your head: cholesterol, blood thinner, blood pressure, diabetes. If you're over 50, the odds that you, your spouse, or an aging parent that you help take care of takes at least one of those 4, the odds are very high. And many of the listings on the site are priced under $5. That's not a typo. Some of these listings are actually under $5. So this isn't an abstract policy story here. This lands exactly on the medications sitting in a lot of your medicine cabinets right now. But here's where most of the news coverage gets it totally wrong, and where I need you to understand what this site is and what it is not. TrumpRx does not sell you drugs. You can't check out and have pills shipped from the government to your house. It also does not run through your health insurance. It doesn't even process a claim. What it actually is a price comparison tool. You look up your medication and it shows you a cash price, the price that you can just pay directly without insurance. And then it points you exactly to where to go to get that price: a participating pharmacy, a coupon that you bring to the counter, or a partner like Cost Plus. There's even a new feature that pulls up a little map of pharmacies near you, so you can compare what the same pill costs down the street versus halfway across town. Think about it less like a store and more like one of those travel sites that doesn't sell you the flight directly, but shows you who's the cheapest. I think that's the right mental model here. Hold on to that, because it's gonna matter a lot in a minute. But here's the part I found genuinely interesting. When this was announced by President Trump, the person who stood up to endorse it was Mark Cuban. If you don't follow this stuff, Mark Cuban is a billionaire investor who publicly backed Kamala Harris in the last presidential election. He runs a low-cost generic drug company, and he got up there and basically said, look, cheaper medicine isn't a Republican thing or a Democrat thing. Republicans want cheaper drugs, independents want cheaper drugs, Democrats want cheaper drugs. I want to sit on that for 1 second, because I think it's the lens I'd ask all of you to watch the rest of this video through. You can have whatever opinion you want about the politics. I'm not here for that. I think the only question at your kitchen table at night is, does this help me pay less for the pills I already have to take. That's it. So let's answer it honestly, both the good and the bad. Here's who actually benefits the most, and it's a very specific list, so listen closely to see if you are in it. You benefit the most if you're uninsured and paying full retail price today. You benefit big if you're on a high deductible health insurance plan and you haven't met your deductible yet. Because until you hit that number, you're paying the full negotiated price anyway. And a cash price can beat that big time. You still benefit if you have a high copay on a particular drug. And you still benefit if your insurance flat out won't cover medication you need. For all these folks, the savings can be big, real, and immediate. But before you get too excited to go refill everything, here's the catch that almost nobody mentions. This is a $2,000 potential problem. When you buy a medication outside of your health insurance that is paying cash price with a coupon, that money usually does not count towards your health insurance deductible. Think about that again. If you pay cash, you might save $5 today, but you also didn't make any progress towards a deductible that unlocks cheaper care for you later in the year. So, cheaper today is not always cheaper over the whole year. Now, for somebody with a lot of medical costs, that math can flip on you real quick. Here's a second trap hiding inside the last one. Remember how I said the model is just a comparison tool? Here's why I think that matters a lot. On a comparison tool like this, a drug might be listed only as the brand name version, but that same drug often has a generic, which is the chemically equivalent version, sitting somewhere else for a fraction of that price. There are real examples where the brand name version runs a couple $100s a month, while the generic version of the same exact medication is around $15 or $20 a month somewhere else. So now do that math over a year, and you're looking at a difference of more than $2,000 just on one prescription that you take. So there's your mistake to avoid right there. Grabbing the first price you see without asking yourself, is there a generic out there? And is it cheaper somewhere else? The tool can help you, yes, but it can also let you totally overpay. I'm telling you this because nobody at the pharmacy counter is on commission to slow you down and help you double check that. Now, let me be straight with you here about both sides because you deserve that. There are critics here who are making some fair points. Awareness of this site is really low right now. In one poll done just this spring, a few months ago, only about 7% of the regular prescription users had even checked it. Some of the early savings claims got challenged as totally overstated. And because of state laws, those manufacturer coupons can't be used in California or Massachusetts at all. Millions of people live there, so this is not a magic wand. But the supporters have a fair point too, and it's a really big one. Around 90% of all prescriptions filled in America today are generics. So a website that finally puts cash prices for generics, for everyday stuff in one place, and forces the discount programs to compete against each other, where you can see them all, I think that is genuinely helpful for every American out there. And for the right person at the right moment, these savings are not just theoretical, they're real dollars, potentially thousands of dollars. So where does that leave us? I think it leaves us with a tool that is exactly as good as the person using it. That's the most important part of this whole video. And that's why the next part is the part that you actually came for. Let me show you how to use any of this without getting lost. This works whether you ever touch that government website or not. These are the habits I teach and advise my own parents. First, the single most powerful thing that you can do that costs nothing and takes 10 seconds. The next time you're at the pharmacy counter, before you pay, ask this exact question. What's cheaper? My insurance, your cash price, or a discount card? That's it, folks. That's the magic question. Most people just walk up, hand over the insurance card on autopilot, and pay whatever price pops up, never knowing that the cash price that day, right then and there, was much lower. The pharmacist generally won't volunteer it, but if you ask, they can run the comparison for you real quick, 10 seconds. So write that on a sticky note in your wallet if you have to, but always remember that. Second, use what I call the 3-layer strategy. Layer 1, ask your doctor or pharmacist, is there a generic for this? Almost always there is, and almost always it's dramatically cheaper for the same identical medicine. Layer 2, compare your options. Your insurance copay, the cash price on a tool like TrumpRx, or GoodRx or Cost Plus, plus the pharmacy down the road. because that same pill can vary by $100 between two stores just a mile apart. Layer 3. If it's still expensive, check whether the drug's manufacturer runs a patient assistance program. Many of them do, and many people who qualify never apply. So think about that. Generic, compare, and assistance. Simple one words right there. Stack those three and you can routinely cut a yearly drug bill by hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. Third, when you do find a lower cash price, you have to claim it correctly. Tell the pharmacist clearly, please run this as cash using the coupon, so they don't just bill your health insurance out of habit. And then, this really matters. Verify the total on the screen, and that matches the price you were quoted before you tap your card. If a pharmacy won't honor the price, you're allowed to take your prescription somewhere that will. You're the customer and act like it. And here's the part that's specifically meant for the caregivers watching, because I know a lot of you are. If you are managing medications for an aging parent or a spouse that can't do it themselves, you do this exercise once per every recurring prescription, and the savings will repeat every single month automatically for the rest of the year and beyond. Just one afternoon of comparison can pay you back 12 times over. I think that's the highest return hour that you'll spend on their care this month, and it doesn't require a single medical decision. So if you know someone who's juggling a shoebox full of their mom's pill bottles, pause right now and send them this video. This is exactly the thing they don't have the time to figure out on their own. Let me give you the fair-minded bottom line, the way I'd say it to my own family. The TrumpRx website is not a miracle cure for drug prices in America. I think it doesn't fix the deeper problem, and it may also leave some people out, and if you use it carelessly, it can even cost you. And I mean this sincerely. For everyday medications, if you understand who it helps and how to compare correctly, TrumpRx can be a genuinely useful shopping tool. I think it nudges the whole opaque system one step closer towards something that it hasn't been yet: transparent. And for a caregiver out there staring at a stack of bills, even 1 inch of transparency is worth a lot. The single action I want you to take from this entire video is very simple. Before your next refill, just compare insurance, cash, discount card, generic. Just ask the question. It'll take you 10 seconds. If this helped you, do 2 things for me right now. Subscribe, so the next time something like this hits the news, I can actually break it down for you quickly, what it actually means for your kitchen table. Not the politics, but just the part that affects your money and your health. And please share this with at least one person right now who fills a prescription. Just one. That's how this news can reach the people who need it the most. Avoiding the brand versus generic trap is just one mistake. There are at least 5 common medication pricing mistakes I see older adults and caregivers make over and over and over. Mistakes that quietly cost real money every single month. If you want me to walk through all 5, tell me in the comments, and that's the next video I'll make. I'm Neal K. Shah. Take care of yourself, take care of the people you love, and I'll see you in the next one.